Here we are live again on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, or I guess early evening. I don't know. What time does evening start? Does anyone actually
6
know?
o'clock.
6?
6 o'clock. That's late. I would say 4,
4?
3 or 4. Yeah.
Because like
Evening?
this is such a random way to start this stream. Like, what's the difference
A
between late
typical
afternoon
fashion.
and
Yeah.
early evening, or is it
Yeah.
the same thing? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Time zones.
Yeah.
What are you
Hold on
gonna?
a second. We've got an echo. Okay.
Oh
We're good.
man, completely unprofessional,
you
Josh.
know,
I cannot believe this.
Streamlabs
This is
doesn't remember
outrageous.
stuff. How are you
Yeah,
guys
that
doing today?
is true. I've been up since 1 a.m. This morning, so I'm doing great. Which is 11 p.m. yesterday your time, Josh. So
yeah, that's when I went to bed.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. I just started a new job at Amazon.
Oh,
Ooh.
benefits.
Are you a Jeff Bezos?
It actually is pretty nice. I started it. I was kind of concerned, with all the rumors about people peeing in buckets or whatever. But
well, wait.
But
I thought that's the reason that you wanted the job.
that was one, but the other one is that I need to pay my bills, and so and so, but no, I actually, it's I've been having a decent time, so I want to say I'm happy, but I'm happy that it doesn't suck, that's how I'll phrase it.
Right. Yeah. I've been there. I've had jobs where it's like, I am really glad that I'm getting a paycheck at the end of this week.
Yeah, right.
How about you, Jonathan?
And it's not too good. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm currently doing a job training for I got a job at a T-Mobile. So
nice.
I'm currently doing a 3-week job training right now. Week 1.
You're given
a
bunch of free advertisement right now for these major corporations.
When the S22 comes out, I'll be hitting you up and being like, hey.
Don't be going there. Every time, that's why I need to stop telling people where I work. From now on, I ain't saying where I work anymore. Because now I'm going to be getting like, oh, could you help me with this? Like, whoa. Whoa. I can't make no promises.
By the way, yeah, that the same goes for me. I don't know where Amazon package is, so don't ask. Okay.
Like, don't ask. Don't ask me. Just stop.
I guess the only thing I can provide from my other gig is spoilers on who wins shows on the Food Network. But does anyone really want those?
Who cares about the Food Network? Unless they're big.
I knew
who won Chopped this week.
Crickets.
Can you actually like tell me whenever this is all over?
Oh man, but yeah, I just went through like week 1 of job training, and yeah, it's just Monday through Wednesday, Monday through Friday for week 1, week 2, and week 3 it's Monday to Thursday, and then of course I got New York Comic Con that's coming up in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So,
are you at all worried about the amount of people that are going to be there?
Looking at the guest list, it is very small. So I'm not surprised by the amount of people that are not going to be there, because they keep saying that they're going to release the next wave list of guests. Like, they just announced that the cast of The Boys are going to be there. Yeah. And I'm still looking at the guest list. It's still pretty small. So I'm not upset that there aren't that many people going to be there. It kind of, works for me, because usually when I have like a long list of people I have to meet, that's a lot of money coming out of my pocket just to get pictures with them. Yeah. But since it's not that big of a list this year, it works out better for me. So it's only just a few guests I need to meet.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly one of the reasons I kind of like smaller cons sometimes. Is it's a lot easier sometimes it's a lot easier to get around. There's less people that you have to wade through to get to the things that you actually want to see as well. So that helps. I do want to recap a little bit of news that came out this week. There were a few things that I'm excited about. I don't know if you guys are or any of our Power Rangers fans because it's kind of out of the box a little bit. But the first 3 episodes of DC's Doom Patrol dropped on HBO Max.
I got that notification. I got
really?
Season 3.
I got that notification when I was.
I had no idea.
When I was catching up on Titans on Thursday morning.
Oh yeah, I need to watch episode 9. Yeah.
Titans? I haven't gotten into Titans yet. It's on my list of things I want to watch, but
just skip to season 3.
That's what I've heard.
Season 3 is freaking awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Doom Patrol.
No, I love it, man.
Doom Patrol is probably my favorite live action DC show that's on TV right now. It just like owns the weirdness, but at the same time takes itself seriously.
Right.
So like I like Legends of Tomorrow, but it's campy, it's meta, it knows it's campy and it knows it's meta. Whereas Doom Patrol takes all of that, but just acts like all of that is normal within that world. It doesn't.
I still want to know what people's
an outside thing.
I still want to know what people's problems are with Legends of Tomorrow season 1 because I liked season 1 mainly because I liked the Hawks. I loved Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Yeah, but I think if they wanted to make a Hawkman Hawkgirl show, they should have just done that instead.
Yeah,
I think it revolved too much around them.
Yeah, that I feel like this is a conversation for a DC show, but
right.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I enjoyed the first season of Legends of Tomorrow for what it was, but I do honestly think that it got better with season 2 and season 3.
Why do you think 2 certain characters just got written out of Titans season 3? No spoilers, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I mean, that's why, because they were taking up too much of the focus.
Let's see. What else happened this week? Scott Bakula. You guys, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He was
Star Trek.
He was in Star Trek Enterprise. He was Captain Archer.
Yeah.
He was most recently in NCIS New Orleans.
Yeah.
And he's had a host of other stuff. But back in the 80s, his big break was in a show called Quantum Leap, where he was a time traveler from the future that would jump back in time throughout the course of his lifetime into other people's bodies. So like he would take over their consciousness and their consciousness would jump to the future into his body. And he would have to set right incidents from history that somehow got screwed up. It went on for, I think the show lasted like four seasons, maybe 5 seasons. But he came out last week and said that they are now in talks with the network about rebooting the series. And I'm really excited about that because that is one of the shows that really got me into sci-fi when I was a kid. It was like that and Star Trek.
Cool.
Let's see what else last week.
I'm trying to think of some stuff.
On Apple TV. It's based on an Isaac Asimov book from like 70 years ago. 70 years ago, I think is when it came out. It's really dense. If you like The Expanse, you'll probably get into this. If you couldn't get into The Expanse, or even if you had trouble getting into something like Game of Thrones, it's probably not the show for you. It's very vast in its scope. But I enjoyed the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. One thing that really got me excited this week was the Nintendo Direct, in which they announced the Super Mario movie starring Chris Pratt.
Twitter was not happy. Twitter was not happy.
Do you do you guys think?
Funny, I haven't laughed that hard in like 5 years. Like,
do you guys think he's going to do a cartoonish Italian accent?
I don't know. I don't really know, and I really don't care.
Jack Black is Bowser.
I mean, I'm excited for this movie. It sounds absolutely, just the cast list that they release is absolutely ridiculous. But I did see someone on Twitter earlier posted that they screwed up because they should have cast Tony Shalhoub and what's the other? I can't think of the other dude's name. He had a food show on CNN recently.
I'm not 40. I don't know.
Hold on. Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci and Tony Shalhoub is Mario and Luigi.
Oh man.
I mean, I've seen Stanley Tucci and things, and yeah, he has that comedic timing for it.
Yeah, but both of them, I thought that would have been perfect.
I thought that was hilarious. And then also for the Nintendo Switch online service, they announced Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis of all things are coming to the service.
I'll take it.
But for an upcharge, so we'll see how much they're upping the price.
I'll take $25 max.
I think 25 would be a good price. I'm guessing 30 or 40. So
look, I'm already.
But I would be happy with 25. Like if it was 25, I would be pretty stoked. So, but it's definitely going to be 30. But if it's 40, I'm going to be like, what are they thinking?
What are you doing?
Because they haven't. All they've done is added more games. They haven't actually upgraded anything with the service. Which, by the way, the actual online capability sucks. Like the connection is horrible. There's no voice chat. There's no even text chat. You can't even really friend people without having to send a code. So
I mean,
yeah,
the online works for me. I mean, I
just thinking, yeah, it works for me too. But I think it could be better.
Okay.
I mean that's a lot of stuff. Like I mean I think honestly I think the online the friend matching stuff on Xbox is the best out of the 3 platforms that are out. I like PlayStation, but like I remember Jezer, Shay, and Toku were all trying to get into like a game of it was like either GTA or Call of Duty or something.
Probably GTA because I know
like,
Jezer.
We were trying to start a voice chat with each other. And it took like 7 tries to get that working right. Where on Xbox you just you make your party and you just go.
That is true. That is true.
PlayStation, it took me a little while to figure that out as well.
Something else that's kind of like I don't know if any of you guys are into collecting toys or collectibles or any of that kind of stuff. But again, from a fantastic sci-fi movie that came out like way back before I was born. Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey. I'm putting this link in the chat here. Entertainment Earth has a collectible figure of the monkey, or the primate, I should say, and the monolith coming out, and it looks amazing. I'm gonna have to buy it, but it's only a pre-order. It doesn't come out until August 2022. So I'm like, why am I gonna pre-order it like a year in advance? I don't even know if I'm gonna be living in the same place next year.
I mean, I pre-ordered Finster that comes out in April. So
at least that's only a few months.
Yeah.
April,
if they don't delay it.
My lease goes like through. I think my lease is up at the end of July. So
yeah, but you can always change the address.
Yeah,
before it gets shipped.
I won't remember to do that though.
You write a reminder for a year from now.
Yeah.
Or no, not a year from now, but you know what I mean.
I can schedule a text to myself to send.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, change your address.
Okay.
So we've been here for like 20 minutes. Are we gonna talk about Power Rangers? Or
yeah, we actually can talk about Power Rangers, and since Josh brought up toys, there's some Lightning Collection leaks that have been announced during the week.
Yes.
A
lot too.
A lot.
It's good that you picked up on my segue there.
Yes, I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, he didn't have that plan. He just wanted to take credit for it.
So here are some announcements that have been made. We got Zato getting a Lightning Collection figure. Damon, about time, getting a Lightning Collection figure. Zoe from Beast Morphers, about time.
Yeah, that's about time. Yeah,
that is about time. Cole with a bike, getting a Lightning Collection figure. Hopefully the bike is good, I
wonder what they're gonna do with the head sculpt, considering like what's his name?
We'll get to that when we get there. We'll get to that.
You know, he's like in prison.
He's out. He's out of prison.
Oh, he's out. Okay, never mind. Sorry, he's not in prison. He was in prison.
All right, we got Shelby from Dino Charge. That's actually about time for that one too, because that was how long we gonna wait for that? We have Kira from Dino Thunder. We got Izzy from Dino Fury.
That's an instant pre-order for me. Like that is.
We got TJ with a bike. I don't know which bike it would be. Who knows?
Why? He's coming out with the 2-pack.
I don't know. I don't know. See, that's the thing. When they release the 2-pack and then they release a solo, why do it?
But it's not even a true solo though. He's releasing with a vehicle. So even then, it's like another whatever. Keep going.
At least it's not like a build your own thing where like you have to buy like 7.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, Marvel. I don't buy Marvel. Like I would probably buy Marvel Legends, but I don't because of that shit. Like, you know, because it would drive me crazy just having these random parts to figures I'm never gonna complete.
If you only want the one figure and you get that, but then you open it up and you have like Thanos' arm. It's like, what am I gonna do with this arm?
Dude, what really pissed me off? We're going off track again, but what really pissed me off is all I wanted was Sam Wilson, Captain America from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you had to buy the entire wave to get the wings.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
That's so stupid. All right, keep going.
All right, next we have Merrick from Wild Force, Max from Wild Force, Coda from Dino Charge.
That's another instant pre-order for me.
And Trip from Time Force with a bike. I don't understand why some of them.
They're doing a lot of bikes.
Trip doesn't normally use a bike though, does he?
No, but this is Hasbro here.
I guess they have bikes.
They all have bikes. I mean, in one of these episodes that we watched today, they all come riding in on motorcycles, but like by themselves, Trip usually doesn't have a bike.
I mean, they released the Omega Ranger with a bike, but I don't really necessarily. I mean, I know he had a bike, but I don't remember him using it that much either.
I remember him using it. It was like his. That was like his.
Well, then maybe I need to rewatch SPD. But, which it is my favorite season, so I should know this. But
yeah. And next up, we have a mystery character from Zeo. I'm guessing King Mondo. That's my guess. That's either Mondo or Prince Gasket. That's my two guesses.
I would say Mondo.
A mystery villain / general from Wild Force. I hope it's Zenaku. I really hope it's Zenaku.
Oh, it's gotta be.
In that case, they could just do a Wild Force 2-pack with, American Zenaku.
I mean, they're not going to do Master Orc, right? I mean, if you had to choose between Zenaku and Master Orc, I mean, I feel like the default choice would be Zenaku.
Or Jindrax. You never know. They could make Jindrax. They could. Maybe. Who knows? And a mystery MMPR figure. Black Ring.
What else is there to do? Like, maybe one of the ninjas?
I mean, they're already releasing the Ninjetti figures.
Oh, you know what it is? They haven't done metallic white yet.
Why'd you have to remind me of those?
Hey, but they got the helmet sculpt right on red.
Yeah, and they're also releasing some more role play. Oh, we're getting Ready Clipter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Apparently, I think we're getting a Lord Zed helmet. I think so.
That would actually be pretty dope.
A Draken helmet, which makes sense, and a power sword, which I know is gonna not the quality for the power sword is not gonna be the same as Bandai's version of the power sword. I believe that for sure.
I want them to make another Gold Ranger staff.
I
would buy it.
I doubt it's gonna be the same as the Bandai version. I doubt it.
I know, but I can't afford the Bandai version, so I might as well,
And of course,
might as well hope for a cheaper Lightning Collection version.
And of course, we're getting another MMPR Megazord with the Dragon Zord, I believe. So I guess the Mega Dragon Zord. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's what's coming up for the Lightning Collection wave. And apparently, some people got their A Squad figures.
Yeah, I'm pissed. Like, I pre-ordered that on Pulse when the day it was announced. And people are getting it from third-party websites already.
But yeah, apparently there's some inconsistencies with the figure because the back is different. The coloring on the back is different from the others.
I don't really care about that.
Yeah,
who's gonna post their figure from the back?
A lot of people care about accuracy.
I know.
I do understand, but for me, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But so do you think we're gonna talk about Time Force today, or is this
should we just Time Force?
Yeah, should we rebrand to the regular Ranger wrap up, or just the whatever the hell we want to talk about show?
I believe Josh for that. He does that all the time.
Yeah, dude, Josh, man. Oh my gosh, constantly off track.
Stick with the script,
man. Unbelievable. It's completely unprofessional.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time talking about stuff tangentially related.
What the heck? That's not a
word. Well, before we jump into actually talking about these episodes, I just want to jump into the chat for a second. We have joining us today Craig Anderson, Jared Hodges, Donnie Pearson, Thomas Franco, and it looks like that might be it so far. But thank all of you guys for joining us. let us know what you thought about these episodes as we're talking about them. Any questions you guys had, I don't know that we'll be able to answer them, but we will do our best to try. But let's start off with the first episode, 26. Bryce, what can you tell me about this one?
25.
I will let you know as soon as I have it pulled up on Ranger Wiki.
Wait, is it 20? Is it
26.
25 or 20? Oh, it is. Oh, I'm
26.
wrong. Look at me.
What was that? What was it?
25 was
Think.
part 2 of Movie Madness.
My bad.
Is that
Look
the
at me.
Jen? Is that the one with Jen and the partner?
Yes.
Yeah.
Time Force Trader.
And Edward Sanchez Productions just joined us as well. How you doing?
Okay, so this was actually a pretty cool episode because we see actually all three of these episodes we get a lot of backstory with the main most of the main characters. So that was really cool. But in this episode, one of Jen's former partners from the Time Force days in the future, but Jen's past, I guess. I don't know if that's
Her early days at the academy. Let's just say
that. Yeah. But his name is Steelix, and basically, he did a lot of no-nos over at Time Force, because he was selling data or information of Time Force to Ransik, or other mutants and criminals and stuff like that. And then Jen found out about this, and then told the higher ups at Time Force. And then Steelix was put in captivity, the cryogenic whatever, and vowed to enact revenge on Jen when given the chance. He is released from his encapturement at some point, and as Jen is walking to get eggs for cookies that she and Wes are making, she gets literally jumped by this guy. And like she's coming back like limping in like with like a bunch of bruises all over her. I was like, okay, like damn, and so basically they try to go after him. He's not there, and then he tells Jen to meet alone. She does, and important part, Steelix took Jen's morpher. And so she goes to meet Steelix. They fight a little bit. She gets her morpher back. Pew pew bang bang, slice dice, whatever. And then Steelix eventually gets the upper hand on her and sprays her with some evil juice or something. And then the
evil juice.
Yeah.
What
and,
flavor would that be?
Evil. And so the other Rangers show up. Jen is like on the ground, and Steelix runs away. The other Rangers go after Steelix, and Wes and Jen are like fighting each other. Then they kind of hug it out. I guess the power of a good old hug every once in a while can turn your not girlfriend back to
how.
again.
Just roll
Yeah.
with it.
Okay, so I have a question, because I don't
Sure.
know I don't know if I missed this or not, but did we see Steelix as a human, or was
Never was.
Okay.
No, I think he's some sort of cyborg android kind of thing. But the weird thing though is that whenever they go to the Megazord fight, he rips off the thing or whatever as if he was a mutant. So
that's for anybody that comes out of cryogenic confinement.
Okay. So that's not exclusively a mutant thing.
No, it's a side effect from like if you're coming out with from cryogenic confinement. You always come out with that patch, and you've removed that patch,
and it makes you big.
Yeah. Right. So then they fight him in the Megazord. Jen makes bad cookies at the end.
One thing that really I didn't notice as many times I've watched this episode, how Jen is like bruised for the entire
yeah.
It's like
honestly, all three of these episodes get kind of gruesome.
Yes, they do.
At first, I thought it was I didn't think it was like cuts or like bruising. I thought it was just like dirt. I'm like, she hasn't had time to take like 3 minutes to just like go splash water on her face or something,
patch herself up and everything. But no, she is bruised for the entire episode.
Like there was a lot of time that passed over the course of this episode.
Some other things. This episode reminds me of that episode from In Space where they had to remain silent from the Psycho Rangers, and if they say something, the Psycho Rangers would find them. This episode kind of gives me that kind of what's the genre, Josh, where like
like psychological horror or
psychological thriller. There we go.
Or thriller, yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah. It kind of, this episode definitely kind of gives me that kind of vibe, especially with how Wes came up with a plan. I'm like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna find Steelix. And it's kind of a little bit suspenseful because you have, Steelix kind of getting the upper hand on them. You're like, hey, I know you and your friends are trying to look for me. I know, like, you were my partner. Remember, I know how you work. So he kind of got the upper hand on her from that before. But yeah, this episode was pretty solid.
This is the one where it started off with them working on that odd job, right, where they were unloading stuff.
Yes.
So okay, so here's another question that you're probably gonna yell at me for. So while they were doing that, while they were working on that job, I think I don't remember who it was. I think it was Wes and Trip were picking up a big crate off of a truck, and they almost fell over with it. And Katie helps them by picking it up. And meanwhile, the dude who hired them is kind of like standing over by the truck and just like watching Katie just like holding up this giant crate by the corner. That's not that wouldn't be like odd to anyone else.
You ain't hey, someone could lift it up. I ain't questioning it. They get the job done
with one hand over their head.
I don't care. They're getting the job done. It doesn't matter. They spend time at the gym. Okay, good for you.
Okay, well, hold on. I don't think The Rock could pick up a crate like that one hand and hold it over his head like that.
It was just one of those things where, like, if no one was around, I wouldn't have thought twice about it. But the fact that they were pretty much in a public place, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. I took note of that too. I was like, okay, that's a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know I
wouldn't even question it.
You wouldn't question. Wait, are you serious?
So let me get this straight. You're walking down the street. You come across some people unloading a truck, and you see this girl who's smaller than you are pick up.
Nah, Katie's probably not even that smaller than me. She definitely got to be a little bit my height or even a little bit taller.
Okay, but like just for example purposes.
So your size, someone your size, whether it's a man or a woman or whoever, they grab this crate that's like 6 feet by 6 feet tall, made out of wood, and they're holding it up by the corner into the air. You're not going to be like,
and we don't even know what's in the crate either. Right? Like something heavy has to be in the crate for it.
I'll probably be like, whoa, impressive. And keep it.
Are you serious? That is ridiculous.
I'll just stop and look like, wow.
I mean, granted, this was in 2000. This was in like 2000, 2001, so people didn't have like good phones with good cameras on them. But still,
did phones with cameras exist?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did, but not like
they weren't nearly that.
I was getting ready to turn 1, so I wouldn't know.
My first camera phone had like a 2 megapixel camera on it. And I want to say that was in like maybe 2000 or 2001.
So basically, you could like see the pixels from like this far away.
Yeah, it's like you actually have to look at it. On
I would
the
say
phone.
from like 10 feet away, but the phone was probably like this big.
Unless you looked at it on the phone, you wouldn't be able to tell what it was.
Yeah. Oh man. Well,
so Craig Anderson, he pointed out A Quiet Place.
Yes, I guess you could say.
So,
I think the In Space episode was definitely a lot like A Quiet Place.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is kind of different, but I can see the comparison there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So overall, what did you guys think about this episode?
It was cool. It was solid. We get a little bit of reveal that we see Captain Logan is not really in charge. He's a second stringer like everybody else.
I haven't watched Time Force in quite a while, so maybe 5 or 6 years. So I can't. Do they explain how this? I guess it's not a spoiler anymore because it was revealed at the end. But do they explain how Alex got in charge?
No, and they never do.
Unbelievable. Because he wasn't in charge at the beginning of the show.
No, he was just an officer
Well,
like
wait,
everybody else.
Did they show that he was in charge in this one? Because I thought at the end it
I
just
mean,
showed.
the commander was saluting him.
Captain Logan is saluting to him. He's like, "Sir, the Rangers have captured."
Yeah, and
Steely."
calling him
right,
sir.
right. Okay, that was him. I got confused about who that was standing next to him at the end there when he was like, "Time is shifting. I have to do something about this," or whatever it was that he said.
Yeah.
Because he still didn't see his face there. He just like put his sunglasses down or something, and then like puts his jacket on and then walks off.
It'd be cool if they had like a sequel graphic novel that like heavily involved Alex.
Oh wait,
that could have explained this.
Oh wait.
Oh wait a minute. Oh, they did, but they didn't. They had that, but then they didn't do it. So, oh shucks.
They dropped the ball hard with that.
You know,
dude, Sins of the Future is not great. Like
I was disappointed. I was very disappointed.
Yeah, like I mean, I wasn't like I don't know if I was necessarily disappointed, but the plot just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, so I guess in that sense I'm disappointed, but
so
like
it's like a lot of Power Ranger series.
Right,
Okay,
but
okay,
like
Josh,
it's like but the problem
pushing
is it's not. But usually the problem with the Power Rangers like TV show, it's like undercomplicated. It doesn't explain enough. But with this, it was too overcomplicated, where there was just too much information all happening at once, and it's just like I have no idea what's going on.
I understand that. I understand that. All right, Blackwing, you want to give us the rundown on episode 27?
Gladly, because I love this episode. Sometimes I find it funny how I know the dialogue of this episode, probably because I watch it so many times. So we get the backstory, more on Ransik's backstory. And Frax, of course, this is where he pulls his full-on, not ultimatum, but his scheme starts to begin, where he starts to plot against Ransik. So all those all those episodes of Frax dealing with Ransik's verbal abuse and everything, he's like, all right, that's it. I'm taking over. I'm pulling my own schemes right now. I'm going to take out Ransik. So Frax releases a certain another mutant from the X-Vote. Haven't heard about that group of mutants for a while, called Venomark. And Ransik finds out who Venomark is, and he explains to Nadira who Venomark was. And he is a mutant that poisoned Ransik way back in his early days. I guess this is like way before he started, he got his powers and everything and started, destroying, becoming a big time mutant criminal and all that.
Right.
So I guess
but wasn't he always a mutant?
He was a mutant, but I'm talking about.
Yeah, but he wasn't always a criminal.
Yeah, criminal.
Okay, gotcha.
Because he became a criminal because people were like abusing him and stuff like that.
Right.
So with this, we find out this dude named Dr. Ferrix kind of had a serum that's able to counteract the Venomark's poison. And Ransik was like, yo, why would you help me? I'm like, I just spend my time making robots, but if anyone's in need, I'm happy to help out. And so Ransik considers him to be foolish and destroys the dude's lab and takes all the remnants of the serum. So Ransik is like, when I see Venomark again, he is going to get it. So Venomark is out causing havoc in the city, poisoning a lot of people, civilians, including the Rangers.
Sorry, Bryce just moved in a
Yeah,
weird
Bryce,
way.
your camera's
now he looks like he's like disintegrating.
Oh, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Oh, brother. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, great reference.
So weird.
Okay.
It's like your background has been overlaid on top of your face.
Yeah, it does.
What do you mean?
Like, look at look.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, that's not how it looks like on my screen. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it on YouTube, and that's not what I see. So that's weird.
Now you look normal again.
Yeah.
Oh really? Okay. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's
so.
weird.
No, not anymore.
Yeah,
here, let me see if I move over here. That helps.
Yeah.
Just over just a little bit. So, Venomark is basically poisoning all the city citizens of Silver Hills. The Rangers also get poisoned. Ransik actually intervenes and tries to stop Venomark, but of course his poison starts to kick in. and then he has a serum, and then he retreats. So Wes finds out about the serum, and the only person that he can go to that can actually help mass produce it is his father. And of course, he hasn't. We all know Wes and his father are not really on speaking terms.
Mhm.
So he shows up to his father saying, "Look, only Biolab has the resources to mass produce it fast enough. So I need your help." And so his father agrees, but of course, him being
It's
the
like
businessman that he
money.
is, he sees this as a golden opportunity. So they were able to mass produce enough serum. Wes takes some vials to his friends. They get cured. Eric, also with the help of the Silver Guardians, is transporting it to other civilians who may need it at hospitals and so on and so forth. And they attack. Venomark attacks again. They defeat Venomark. And that's pretty much the end. Until we get a special reveal at the end of the episode. Frax destroyed all of Ransik's last supply of serum, holding the last vial in his hand, threatening him like, "Hey, you never know if I could just drop this or not. So am I that stupid or not?" And Ransik is just trying to tell him, like, "You better watch your Frax. Don't push my buttons right here. You and me are on the same side here. So what do you have against me?" And it's revealed that Frax is Dr. Ferrix, and he's been wanting revenge on Ransik this entire time.
Yeah.
So
And then I can't remember if it's this episode or the next episode, but we actually get a flashback of like what happened to him, and like it's like
this episode, like
it's really graphic. Like
Yeah.
like you can see like his burns and like even some blood, I think, and like his skin like peeling off. It's like, holy crap! Like this aired on Fox Kids. Like damn, like they weren't playing around.
They went there.
Yeah.
I just want to point something out really quick. None of the people who had gotten bit by this thing and were offered the antidote said, "No, you know what? No thanks. I'm just gonna let my natural immunity take care
Oh
of
my
me."
God, Josh! Why did you have to do that? I knew. I was hoping nobody made a COVID. I was hoping nobody made a reference.
I
to the
cannot believe I never thought of that.
I
That's
was thinking that the
hilarious.
entire time. I'm just like, why is this?
I cannot believe I never made that connection.
That
That
was
is
like, as I was watching that I mean, just because of what's going on right now in the world, like that was the first thing that I thought about. I was like, they made that thing really quickly, and everyone is jumping on it.
Yeah. Well, sure. Like here's what I'm thinking. If you know, let's say something like this happened in the real world where there was like a worldwide pandemic and a bunch of people were getting sick and dying, I feel like if you know, like the CDC, like actual official like scientists came up with like a vaccine and dispersed it to everyone, I think surely, you know, people throughout, you know, the world would do the smart thing and get the vaccine to save not only their lives but the lives of others as well. So that's just kind of my view on what would happen if this theoretical scenario happened in the real world.
If that actually happens at some point in time, you know, I guess we'll just have to see.
Hopefully it doesn't. That would be pure anarchy, I'm sure.
Yeah. Really quick before we continue, Craig Anderson in the chat has a question for both Blackwing and Bryce. He asks, "What is the Time Force comic about, and why do a lot of fans hate it?"
It's called Sins of the Future, and it tries to be like a good epilogue for Time Force.
Yeah.
But it drops the ball very hard. I
think, you know, I think it's cool. Like it really could have been something really, really awesome, but they needed to make it like maybe like a 5-issue miniseries instead of like a one graphic novel and then we're done, because there was just so much crap just thrown into there to where it's just none of it makes any sense.
It really does.
Where you literally have no idea what's going on. Like you're turning back the pages to see if you missed anything, and then you didn't. And so you're just like, I have no idea what's going on. And so that's just kind of the major problem with it. At least for me. I don't know about everyone else, but
I mean,
that was my problem.
For me, I found it weird that Wes and Jen were trying to have a relationship when they're like nearly 1,000 years apart. I'm like,
yeah,
how are you trying to pull that off? Like, I can understand a long-distance relationship, but this is just overkill.
I thought Time Force Black was really cool, though, and I thought her backstory was really cool as well.
I didn't. I really did.
Really? I liked her.
I didn't. I found it very because it was about a character we don't really care about. That's the thing.
Yeah, but she's Alec. Well, spoilers. she's connected to Alex. So,
but nobody cares about Alex. That's the
well,
thing. Nobody cares. Alex has no backstory. We don't care about Alex. What's the point of giving backstory?
I thought it was
Wait, you don't
cool.
care that he died?
He's not dead. He ain't dead.
Wait, Alex? No, Alex died in episode 1. Remember?
Hello.
No, remember, like episode 1, he died at the end because Ransik killed him. So there's no way he could possibly come back.
Oh.
Did they explain that, by the way? Did they
Like
just
he
forget
didn't
to
die?
explain that part too?
No. It's oh my gosh. He says it's so stupid. Jen hugs him. This is kind of spoilers for next week, but like Jen hugs him. She's like, "You're alive. I thought you were gone forever." And then Alex is like, "I barely survived Ransik's attack," and no explanation. And
That sounds
and
about
Jen's
right.
like, "Are you okay?" "Oh, I want to know everything." I'm like,
Wait,
explanation.
do they do a thing where Alex and Wes kind of like stare at each other and like
Yes.
circle each other a little bit?
No, not circle each
And
other,
then
but
like
like
and then do like
eyeball each other.
this and like
No.
Yeah.
No, they eyeball each other up and
That-
down, like unbelievable.
That kind of reminds me whenever at the end of Dino Charge they completely broke time and space, and then whenever they came back for Ninja Steel, Wes in a throwaway line just said like, yeah, this is Coda from the Dino Charge universe. So they just had it be in a separate universe. Like just that's like because I remember after Dino Charge aired, everybody was like, this doesn't make any sense. Dino Charge has to be in a separate universe because now dinosaurs exist on Earth, but then the other Earth was destroyed, and so but yeah, that just kind of reminded me of the Dino Charge explanation from Ninja Steel.
Multiverse is a very convoluted topic. I don't even like talking about it. It makes my brain hurt.
So Looper.
Whatever that is.
The movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis.
I don't. That's why I said whatever that is. If I say whatever that is, I have not seen it.
Okay, so Rian Johnson, the guy who directed Last Jedi, that was one of his earlier films. Basically, the basic plot is that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a kind of like a hitman, but he kills people who are sent back in time from the future to close their loop. And Bruce Willis is a version of him from the future. And they get into a conversation, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is asking him like how he's there, with like time travel, and Bruce Willis basically just like time travel gives me a headache. I don't just accept that it works, and this is how things are. I don't want to talk about it, and that's basically it. That's how they get around explaining how time travel works in this universe. Is just by going, I don't want to talk about it.
That's pretty much basically. So back to the episode. Frax, with the whole big reveal that he's Dr. Ferrix. He's the human that helped Ransik when he was when nobody else would help him.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much like, look, the doctor's gonna give you a taste of your own medicine. He just like as soon as he I don't know if he was trying to toss him the vial, or he was like pretty much intentionally trying to like let it fall to the ground.
No, he totally just dropped it.
Yeah. Okay, so one more question, because I don't know if this is something that I missed or not. Why does Ransik have to keep taking the serum and everyone else only needed to take the one?
Because everyone else is human. Yeah. He's a mutant, and it affects him differently. He said when Frax was Dr. Ferrix, he says you have to keep taking it, or the attack.
I missed that then.
Yeah,
got you. But yeah, this episode's great. It's really great.
It was pretty fun.
I really enjoyed that they actually gave Frax a reason for doing what he's been doing, because before this episode, it was just like, okay, well, why was he here in the first place? Like it didn't really add up. But now that we know, that kind of makes all of everything else that had been happening make a little bit more sense. Because at first it just seemed like he was just like, oh, well, you just hate robots, and I'm gonna get back at you for hating robots. But now giving him actual motivation, kind of it makes him more of a, I don't want to say it makes him more of a sympathetic character, because he's still a dick and a villain.
Yeah.
But within the context of the story, it makes him a little bit more sympathetic to the reasons why he's doing the things that he's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Bryce, what about you? What did you think about this episode?
I thought it was awesome. Like I said, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's really cool. This is a very not Power Rangers thing to do. Actually explain the motives of a villain. So so I thought this was really, really cool to see Frax's like full on backstory in this. I mean, and like what like an awesome like tragic backstory too. I mean, you know, it really like makes sense like why he's been trying to, you know, overthrow Ransik this whole time. So I'm really glad that they took the time to explain that, because that isn't really something Power Rangers usually does. So I thought that was really cool. And then we get to learn even more about Dr. Louis Ferrix in Hyperforce, and he has a big part in that as well. So yeah, it was really cool to kind of see where that all started here in this episode.
What did you think about the scene that we got between whoever it was and Wes's father? Like when he admits, he's like, you know, Wes has forged his own path. You know, I tried to plot out his life, but
we didn't even get to that.
That was the next episode.
Oh, was
that
the
next episode?
Yeah, that was
like
the next episode. Sorry. I'm getting these all like kind of like merged together.
So I will tell you once we're.
That's right, because he destroyed that. That's why that happens, because at the end of this episode, the vial gets destroyed. So he goes to Biolab to steal the rest of the stuff that they had there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's jump into that episode. What do you guys want to give us the rundown for that?
You want to do it, Bryce, or should I?
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, if you have more to say about it.
I guess I'll continue on it.
Sure.
So Ransik is now on a manhunt for Frax, just complete manhunt, and Frax is actually creating another robot designed strictly for him, so that way he could, you know, well, Frax has done this already, so this is like his second. Yeah, this is his second robot that Frax is creating. And Alex can see that Frax has, you know, broken away from Ransik. The Time Force Rangers, you know, having a good old time with taking pictures and, you know, just having a funny moment, heartwarming go-to moment together. And then Jen tells them that the serum is probably the creation of the mass production of the serum may jeopardize the time stream, because it wasn't even supposed to be invented. It wasn't even invented yet. So Wes decides to go to Biolab and, you know, get rid of it and destroy it. But of course, Mr. Collins sees this, you know, business opportunity. His I don't know, I guess secretaries are telling him like, hey, our numbers are doubling because of the serum and more people are deciding to join the Silver Guardians, blah, 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 blah. And Wes comes in, tries to destroy the serum, but his father and Eric stopped him. We're like, you can't do this. We need this.
So, sorry, I'm gonna stop. Random questions. So, in the last episode, we saw that they were basically just giving out the serum. And people weren't paying for it.
I mean, people still had to, because remember, when his father created the Silver Guardians, they were only meant for people who can pay.
Right, but like random people were just showing up to take, like remember that old lady Eric just ran over and gave her the serum. So like, I mean, it looked like they were providing the antidote free of charge to people.
I'm pretty sure, because it was because it was an emergency situation. People needed it. They really needed it.
So when he's talking about making money, is he talking about like people joining the Silver Guardians and having more workforce for them, or is he talking about making money off of the serum itself?
Both. I think he might be talking about both.
Okay.
Because the numbers, his secretary did say the numbers did skyrocket because of the serum. Because, I mean, there's no explanation about other medical companies and Time Force producing it. Wes only gave it to his father because, you know, his father owns his mask.
But at the same time, they don't really need it after everyone's gotten the...
Yeah, they don't really need it.
Yeah, they really don't need it. After that monster has been captured, no one else... Like, the infection isn't spreading. So after everyone has been cured...
They don't need it. Well, except the only person who will need it is Ransik. Hence why Nadir gave him that idea, like, what about Biolab? Didn't they make some serum?
Right.
I'm like, so
the only thing that I can think of, that that kind of was alluded to was that they were studying the serum to see if they could get um any more if they could figure out how it was made to use the technology from the serum for other medical applications.
Oh yeah, and this won't be
like maybe that's where it came in, but they didn't really directly address that.
yeah, and this won't be the first time his dad definitely does something like this. So yeah, Ransik leads a full-on assault on Biolab. Employees are getting tossed over ledges, thrown over tables. They're bursting into the lab, trying to find the serum. The Silver Guardians to try to hold their ground. It's like an infiltration that's that's happening. So Ransik gets into the lab, tossing doctors around, asking where the serum is. That first doctor who he's asking where's the serum, and he looks over his shoulder. I was like, dude, you basically just told him where it was.
No, he's literally holding him up by the shirt, and he literally goes, the freezer, and throws him.
Yeah, like the first doctor's like, where is the serum? Like, all right, move. Like, Zaskin, where is it? I'm like, all right, it's in the freezer. He just throws Zaskin to the floor.
It's like, and he points to it, like, it's right over there in the freezer.
And then Ransik starts to have a mutation attack. His spikes are peak. I am surprised they went through with all this bodily horror. Like, you got spikes peeking out of his face, both his arms and everything. I'm like, I'm surprised they went through with this. So he was able to get, more serum, cure himself. Wes's father, Mr. Collins, comes into the room, tries to stop Ransik, and he...
Hold on, real quick. I've got a fun fact, because this is something I noticed, because I've worked on, various short films, independent films, stuff like this. So I noticed stuff like this. They forgot to animate the spikes on his face whenever he was drinking the serum, because you could still see the green dots where the CGI is supposed to go.
I saw that. I didn't go back to look again to see what that was, but I was like, huh.
Yeah, so what I'm assuming is that they were probably supposed to retract back into his face as he drank the serum, right. Because then in the next shot the green dots are gone. But I guess they forgot or maybe ran out of time. I don't know.
I guess they don't want to make it too horrific. I mean, yes, spikes
but they could have just animated. I mean, if they can animate it going out, they can animate it going back in.
Yeah, I mean, because even remember when he had both the spikes on his left and right arm peeking out of his arms, I guess you didn't even see that disappear either.
What makes me think it is a mistake, though, is that if they can animate big silver spikes on there, then they probably could have just animated the green dots out to where it would have just looked like his skin color.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can grab a clip, not a clip, but a screenshot,
an image.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mr. Collins comes in, he tries to stop Ransik, he gives him the whole spiel like, oh, so now you want to protect your son, the Red Ranger. I remember that you pretty much kicked him out. And Mr. Collins was like, I did, but he took charge of his own life, and I'm proud of him for that. And he point blank, well, not point blank, he just blasted Mr. Collins.
Pretty much.
Yeah. He blasted Mr. Collins, and he just ended up on the floor. Like, a blast that close, it definitely felt like that should have killed him.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this before the show. If this didn't air on Fox Kid, which I guess Fox Kid was breaking the mold these past 3 weeks anyway. But if this aired on anywhere else, or if this were Super Sentai, he would have totally died.
He would have. I mean, this is they kind of did take this happened the same way in Time Ranger as well. But I mean, if you've seen Time Ranger, you know what happens. If you haven't, then it's basically copy and paste. That's basically what Time Force is. With a few differences. So Eric sees Ransik leaving. He tries to take on Ransik on his own. Big mistake. And gets his butt kicked. It's like the Rangers can... Ransik's like that one villain that the Rangers cannot beat. Like, they can't... He's like that unbeatable boss. So Mr. Collins ends up in the hospital. The Rangers are facing off the monster of the week. Katie and Lucas finish him off. They destroy him, and of course Wes has no idea what's going on, but we'll find out about that later for next week. And Alex shows up, and it's revealed that he's survived, and he's in charge of Time Force.
Okay,
and that's how the episode ends.
So I'm gonna drop this picture on the screen. It's gonna cover all of us though. So
My beautiful face?
Yeah, all of our beautiful faces.
Oh,
My magnificent
man.
beard.
I'll
All
be
right.
fine.
Jeez.
So
My
here we
screen
go.
time. No.
So that
Oh my
that
gosh.
image should be on top of us now. I'm putting it into the chat here with both of us, so both of you guys can see what the audience is looking at while they're looking at it. But yeah, you can see like there is a green dot just over his right eyebrow. Then there's another one on his his upper cheek, and then one down a little bit further down the side of his face.
I don't know if the image is coming up on the live stream.
I see it.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I must be behind.
Or just behind by a few seconds.
Or minutes. I don't know.
But yeah, that is kind of interesting. I always wonder how stuff like that happens. Like, I get like in Game of Thrones there was the one scene where the Starbucks cup was kind of like over next to Daenerys when she was.
And then Mandalorian jeans guy.
Yeah, standing there like.
And they edited it out. It's like why? Why would you edit that out? That's perfect.
Jeans guy in the Mandalorian, like
right, like in what was it? Return of the Jedi. You had like Wilro Hood with his ice cream machine that he's running out with that they later retconned into being a database of some kind, like a computer core or something. So like they easily could have actually made a character who wore jeans and sneakers.
Yeah,
would have been great.
Like I just on an Imperial base or whatever.
I understand the Starbucks cup. I don't understand. I understand why they edited it out. I don't understand how that got through. Because like there's so many people. Like I work in post. Like I know how many people like watch these things. And sometimes something slips through. Like every once in a while, you might get like a misspelling of a name because like two letters are reversed, and it's like it's so close that like people just like glaze over it because it looks right on first glance. Because like I don't know if you guys know or not, but like when you read things, you read the entire word. So like if here the S and the I were reversed, you wouldn't necessarily realize that until you took a closer look at it because you're reading the entire word as a whole instead of sounding it out as you go. So some of that stuff I kind of get, but if you're actually like QAing or QCing like visual things, you would think that you would be looking for that kind of stuff.
I mean, look, that I mean, like I said, I haven't worked on anything like Game of Thrones, but yeah, that stuff is hard. Like I was in a film called Paranormal Pencil. Don't ask. And
quite a title.
I need to see this now.
Sure, I'll send you a link. But my acting, I was 16, okay, but you know, so I don't know, but anyway, like I remember I'm sure there's more continuity issues that I don't know about, but the one that comes to mind is I think throughout most of the film, throughout most of the film, I was wearing this watch that my character had on a certain hand, and then one scene. Like there's like kind of a more of an aerial shot, and then my watch switches to the other hand, and then switches back, and then it's like my watch switching back and forth, like throughout the different cuts and stuff. It's just like, oh my gosh.
The image, or because you actually had the watch?
No, my watch was on the other hand, like so like my.
You gotta do one of these again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
Uh-oh. But no, like I literally like so basically my dumb ass forgot what hand my watch was on, and or was supposed to be on, and so it made it into the final edit because I mean we weren't gonna go back and reshoot
right. That's fine. That's funny. Like, that kind of stuff I kind of understand too, because like it's a watch. Like, you know, you're not necessarily if you don't have like a continuity person there on set, you're not necessarily going to notice that.
I mean, we had I don't know if we did that day, but we did have someone on some days where it'd be like they would be watching out for stuff, but like it wasn't really like a this person is on like here is there like every day.
Right.
Or something like
that. And was the watch integral to your character?
No, but it was on for the whole film.
Right.
So So if you're watching, and you're like it's basically like my watch is teleporting to the other arm, like throughout the different cuts and stuff.
All right, so let's back to this episode. Do you think? Well, I mean, you guys have obviously seen the entire series. But would you think that Wes's dad would actually ever tell him what he revealed at the end of this episode to Ransik about him actually being proud?
I think at some point, yeah.
He does.
Down the line.
He definitely does.
Spoiler, what?
I didn't say does. I said definitely does and would. He would definitely do that. Trust me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, they wouldn't just put that in there for no reason. So eventually he's going to have to tell Wes.
Yeah, but hey, son, just want you to know, he'd be like, look, you don't have to go into the business, yada, yada, yada. Protect the city. The city needs you.
I wanted to let you know, I said something. There was a blaster to my chest. I didn't mean it at all.
People say things when they think they're dying.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that I still hate you and think you should take over business. So that's how I imagine. Yeah.
At the end of this episode, Wes doesn't know that his dad has been injured, right?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Right. Yep. But his dad's other son Eric is there with him. So
his other son Eric.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's a perfect analogy to that, like, because Eric's the one he's been wanting to like rise up on the food chain anyway, and he is now. So he's like, now I'm at the top spot. So yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we saw that look that he gave the other dude where he's like, well, I guess you're his right hand man now. He's like, fucking right, I am.
Right,
sir. I'm like,
So personally, I think out of the 3 episodes, I think this was the best of this grouping. I really enjoyed it. I thought like that was I think a pivotal moment for his father's character. When he was like no, when he said no, he's like no,
Wes's father?
Mr. Collins.
Yeah, it's just Mr. Collins.
Mr. Collins, Wes's father, whatever.
Oh, Mr. A. Collins. So his first name is A.
Yeah, his name plate on his desk just says A. Collins. No one cares about what the A is.
Well, no, he's just a Collins.
Yeah, no, yeah, his name is
He's one of many.
That's my new headcanon. His name is Collins.
Well, no, he's just like one of the Collins. So he's a Collins. There are a lot of them.
That's why he's so pissy, because his parents never gave him a name. His name is just Collins, so they just named him Collins because they didn't give him a first name.
What if it was? No, you know what? That's too on the nose. I was about to say, what if it was? Wait, no, that can't be it.
Oh, grammar jokes. But no. So like I was saying, I think this episode did a lot to kind of build. Even though Wes doesn't know this yet, it did a lot to kind of build up Mr. Collins, A. Collins, as a character and who he actually really is. We see that he does actually care about Wes. That he wasn't, even though he came across as just wanting him to follow in his footsteps, he is actually happy with the fact that Wes is not doing that. So I'm definitely interested in seeing where that develops their relationship going into the future. I would like to see them have a conversation where Mr. Collins like actually admits that to Wes directly. I also think that would be interesting for Mr. Collins to meet Alex, just because he would be completely confused.
That would be. Yeah.
But no, what about you guys? It's like what are your overall thoughts on the episode?
I love these batch of episodes. I love this arc.
Dude, this was great.
It's really definitely an arc that I would say it hits. I wouldn't say it hits close to home, but it does. It hits. Like, it really hits hard. because just of the emotional tensions, the high stakes, not just on the battlefield for the Rangers, but mainly behind the scenes of what goes on. It's definitely, some things are definitely starting to step up a bit. So, and that's pretty much why I love this art, this specific art.
I mean, yeah, I've had so much going on here lately, and so basically, me watching Time Force has been me watching Time Force because I have to because I'm on this show. But I actually but to that point, I legitimately enjoyed watching these 3 episodes. Like, I thought the story was solid. We got a lot of backstory on a lot of these characters, and set up a bunch of future events that are getting ready to transpire. And honestly, I enjoyed this week's spoiler for Retro Sentai Wrap Up, but I enjoyed this week's episodes of Zhu Ranger too. And we've been constantly dogging on that season basically since even before we started it. I mean, we were still on Jetman and we were talking crap about Zhu Ranger. So but yeah, we've had a really good batch of episodes overall this week. So yeah, I've been fairly pleased with the quality of these episodes.
That's good.
What? I mean, I mean, I basically, it's just like,
yeah, no,
for me,
they've
been okay.
It's always, it's frustrating, like when you're watching something, not like watching something not necessarily because you have to, but because you feel like you should be watching it.
Yeah.
And you're going through a period where you're just like, this episode was bad, this episode was bad, this episode was bad, this episode was bad, this episode was really good. What was wrong with those first 3? And then you watch another couple of episodes and you're like, all right, yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. Why are we getting bad episodes again?
Yeah, right.
I was actually I was chatting with a couple of people yesterday about Heroes. Because like with Heroes, like the first half of the first season was really good, really good. The second half of the first season was all right, and then after that, it just kind of started going downhill a little bit. But then Brian Fuller came back, and for like 3 or 4 or 5 episodes, and all those episodes were amazing. Like with how much better they were than what we had previously, and then he left again, and the quality just like went right back down. So again, it was like, and it's disappointing, I think is just the best word, because like you want to like something and you want to enjoy something, and there are things about whatever it is that you're watching or you're reading that you do really like, but then all of the stuff that's not good just kind of drowns that out.
Oddly enough, whenever you were saying these episodes are bad, these episodes are good, these episodes are bad, like I think you perfectly described Titan season 2 without ever even watching it. So that was really impressive, actually. But no, yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, I've had that feeling all the time with different shows. I mean, The Office season 8 and 9, for example. Those are exactly like that. At least for me. And season 1. But yeah, season 1 has its other weird issues as well that really haven't aged well. I just started rewatching The Office not too long ago, and I think I'm probably gonna skip Diversity Day from now on because it is
cringy.
Whoa, man! Yeah, it is. Yikes! So
yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like I recently saw a tweet that was a scene from the first Spider-Man, from the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, where he's fighting Bonesaw. And
Bonesaw is ready.
Right? It's such a great scene. But there's a moment where Spider-Man is like up hanging on the top of the cage, and he looks down and he's like, "Hey, that's a nice costume. Did your husband make it for you?" And like, at the time, it might not have been okay, but within the realm of like cultural acceptance, it was okay back then. But obviously now we're trying to evolve past where that kind of thing is acceptable, because it's funny to a certain extent, but at the same time it's not, because it is denigrating a certain group of people, and we as a culture we understand that now.
Most of us.
Most of us do.
Well, some of us.
Yeah. And I complete like I complete like I saw when I see things like that on shows from like the early 2000s or the late 90s, I'm like, oh, that did not age well.
Yeah, I actually just rewatched Spider-Man 02 like a few weeks ago. Yeah, and I remember noticing that. I go, yeah. You know, so
that ain't gonna,
but
like
work. Even back then, you know, like even if you like you saw that and you thought to yourself, oh, that's kind of.
I will say I probably laughed as a kid though, but you know now that I've kind of aged and grown and learned to understand this kind of stuff, I can kind of go, yeah, okay, that didn't age very well.
Right, well, and that's really what you know, like going back, I saw I don't remember who it was in the chat, but someone had mentioned something about Izzy in Dino Fury, and
yes.
And I feel like it's the same thing with that. You know, like now with it being in culture a little bit more, like we understand. We're like, oh, this isn't cool. I understand why this isn't funny, and that's you know that's how you grow as a person.
I mean, we've gone to an actor literally being basically pressured off the show for being gay to actually now having an LGBTQ plus ranger on the show. So
wait, hold on. What show was that?
Zio, David Yost.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. But so I mean that just shows like how we've kind of grown as a society, as you know, a culture, and how, you know, the show and the production has grown within itself. And I mean, and that's just Power Rangers. You know, you just see people grow and learn and learn these life experiences and stuff like that. You know, anybody can be a ranger, and I'm glad that we're finally getting to that point to where that's actually becoming a reality.
Yeah, absolutely. Changing the subject a little bit. Also, something that I found out this past week, from David Yost. Well, not from David Yost, but because of David Yost. He had posted, he tweeted out something about Ivan Ooze. Like, somebody tweeted something about like the original Power Rangers movie, and he tweeted out just like you know, like joking about Ivan Ooze. And I was like, oh,
his iconic line that he said in the movie, "You ooze, you lose."
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then I just looked it up on IMDb, and I looked at the character. I looked at the name of the actor who was playing Ivan Ooze, and
Dr. Bellick from Indiana Jones.
Yes, I just learned that this week, and that is so bizarre to me, because like I just watched I just bought the Indiana Jones quadrilogy, or for some people the trilogy and that other movie on Vudu, and I watched Raiders, and you know, just watching it, and I was like, that's the same guy.
Yeah, it's I can't believe it sometimes. I'm like, I couldn't even tell with all that makeup on him. I can't really tell.
Right.
Well, it's like there's
I think he was a theater actor as well. So he was kind of used to all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I mean, it would take like 3 hours to put on, and he'd be in it all day and be completely fine.
Oh yeah. So it completely makes sense that he's unrecognizable because of all of that. But it's just one of those things when you learn that someone was a character. There's a super weird movie from the early 90s called Freaked. That was directed by Alex Winter from Bill and Ted, and he starred in it too. And he got Keanu Reeves to be in it, and Keanu Reeves was in full prosthetic makeup as like a half man, half dog. And when I found out that was Keanu Reeves, I was like, no. I had to go back and watch it. I was like, holy crap, that's Keanu Reeves. Like, completely, because, you know, like, Keanu Reeves has a very distinct style, like, when he's acting in a movie, and seeing him as a character in completely prosthetic makeup, acting completely differently than you've ever seen him in anything except maybe Bill and Ted, you're like, wow.
Or Matrix, or whatchamacallit, John Wick.
Yeah.
You know what really... this is going off topic again, but you know what really bugged me about the Matrix trailer is nothing about the trailer itself, but the fans going like, he looks too much like John Wick. I'm like, yeah, maybe because it's the same guy. Like, you know, it's Keanu Reeves.
I mean,
He
yeah, I mean,
plays John
okay, I'll
Wick,
say this
like-
because I mean, I still haven't watched the other two Matrix films because I only saw the first one. But I just like looked at that I mean, just looking at that trailer itself, I'm just like, all I see is John Wick. I don't see Neo. I don't see
Yeah,
Neo.
but that's because because the Matrix hasn't been out since what, 03?
Yeah.
And John Wick has been coming out,
Yeah.
since, so that's his most prominent role now.
But I mean,
So-
also Keanu Reeves looked like that. He looks like that in Cyberpunk 2077. He looked like that in that Netflix show, Call Me Maybe.
It's just what he looks like now.
Yeah,
like he doesn't
just
look
him.
the same as he did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like surprise.
I mean, wait a minute.
like,
Did he shave for the new Bill and Ted movie or no?
He did.
Okay, then.
Yeah, he had long hair, but he didn't have a beard.
Okay.
That's
okay.
yeah.
So I'm not all mad.
But yeah, I think that kind of covers everything that we had to discuss today as far as Power Rangers Time Force episodes 27 through 20
and everything else,
26 through 28 go, along with a
This
lot
is
of
a good
other random stuff.
This is a good format for us to go on because we could just stay with doing 3 episodes all the way to the end because the last multi-parter for the season is not really, it's literally the finale of the season.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And Mikey Nerd Talk has joined us. He's been gone for a while. Welcome back. Sorry that you came in just as we're ending the stream, but it's good to see you. And he also he's pointing out that The Matrix and John Wick were shot back to back.
that is true. And they used to have the same release date.
I did not know that. I did not know that. I didn't know they were shooting back to back. So okay, that
was one of my.
I think at some points they were shooting at the same time.
I think so too. And for a long time when they announced that they were both coming out on the same day, I really wanted them both to be the same movie. I wanted John Wick 4 and The Matrix 4 to be the same.
I can't imagine Keanu's like filming schedule. Like, okay, I'm done here. I gotta run to the other studio.
I gotta go run to John Wick.
Here's the thing. Could you imagine like walking into The Matrix 4 and finding out that John Wick was a new version of The Matrix that they made specifically for him?
Hey, who's to say? That could work.
Like that.
Hey, the movie ain't out yet.
I mean, honestly, I wanted the same thing when they announced Indiana Jones 4 and Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 4. I was like, I want these to be the same movie too.
Well, we all know Jurassic World. It's its own entity now. So
yeah. But that kind of goes into how I really wanted
starring
that,
Mario himself. Chris Pratt.
Was it
Sorry.
Sony was looking at doing a crossover between Men in Black and 21 Jump Street.
I was
like, I want that. I want that movie.
I would have actually loved to see that actually happen, but now it ain't gonna happen. But
yeah,
oh well.
It's sad, but that would have been great.
Maybe it still can. I don't know. But
I mean, Tommy Lee Jones dude's old.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Well,
so is Harrison Ford, and they're filming a 5th Indiana Jones with him.
Yeah.
So I mean. And the dude literally got severely injured on set to where they had to stop filming and I don't know if they've started again yet.
I think they did. I think they're almost done with it.
I can't believe.
But if you guys who are watching it enjoy these kind of conversations, we are working on building a sci-fi show where this will be more of the format for that, where we'll be able to talk a lot more about sci-fi stuff in general, not just relegated to Star Trek or Power Rangers or Marvel. It'll be all over everything. Hopefully that will be coming soon.
Everything that's Josh's favorite thing about sci-fi.
Right. Just also as a reminder, after we have finished this season of Power Rangers Time Force, we will be moving this show over to Facebook. Rather than being on YouTube. So if you're not following us over there, make sure to look up the Illuminerdi and Power Rangers. I think it's Power Rangers Cosmic Protectors News, Power Rangers News, or Cosmic Protectors Power Rangers News over there, and you'll be able to find the show when it relaunches on YouTube, or sorry, on Facebook, which will be shortly after we finish up this season here, which should be sometime towards the end of November, I think, if my math is working out right. But for everything else, make sure you follow us on Twitter at _Illuminerdi, Instagram, _Illuminerdi. You can find me at Vogon Poetry Slam on both Twitter and Instagram. Bryce, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Bryce Awk, Bryce AWK.
Is that like
and
awkward?
No, it's my initials. And you know this. You've asked me this before.
And you know this, man.
So, yeah, thanks. So I guess it has a double meaning, according to Josh. But, yeah, so that's where you can find me on Twitter. And obviously, I write for the Illuminerdi.com, so you can read my articles there.
And Blackwing, Jonathan.
All right, you can find me
Jennings.
on. Oh, brother.
J-Dog.
I'll take that. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at Blackwing2040. Did I say Instagram as well?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
okay, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch, Blackwing2040. Sometimes I forget where I am, because when I'm doing this on my YouTube channel, I always say like, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch, and like I'm here. I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta say my YouTube channel.
Where am I? All right, we will see you guys next week, and the rest of you guys watching, make sure to stay here to catch Bryce and Blackwing on the Retro Sentai wrap up in about 40 minutes.
In about 18 minutes.
In about 18 minutes. So have a good rest of your weekend, everyone.
Take care.